Dear students, we are going to discuss about the biological processes in human body as the sixth unit of grade 11. This is somewhat a lengthy unit. There we are going to discuss about major systems in the human body, how do they function and what are the structures of these. So we will concentrate on a digestive system, respiratory system, excretory system, then the circulatory system, which includes blood circulation as well as the lymphatic system, and then the coordination which is carried out by the nervous system as well as the chemical coordination which is carried out by hormones, and finally we will discuss about homeostasis as well. So as this is somewhat lengthy, I will discuss this section wise. First we'll move on to human digestive system. So in grade 10 you have learned that nutrition is a basic characteristic of living organisms. During nutrition, what organisms do is they obtain materials which are required for the maintenance of life. After obtaining those materials or food, that food undergoes digestion and digestive end products are absorbed into bloodstream ultimately. That is what we call as digestion. Then the absorbed digestive end products will undergo cellular respiration in order to produce energy. That is included in respiration. So during digestion, we obtain the materials which are needed to sustain life. So digestion of food can be called the process by which complex organic compounds are converted into simple forms that can be absorbed into human body. There are two types of digestion. First one is mechanical digestion. The physical nature of the food is affected. For example, the large pieces are broken into small particles, and as a result of it, the surface area of the food particles is increased. And the second method is chemical digestion. Their insoluble complex compounds are converted into simple molecules due to the action of enzymes. There are certain nutrients that can be absorbed without digestion. Some examples are vitamins, minerals, and the simple sugars, or what we call as monosaccharides like glucose, fructose, and galactose. And water is also absorbed directly to the body. When we consider human digestive system, it is a single tubular structure which starts from mouth and ends up at the anus. There are certain glands present in digestive system. They are salivary glands, pancreas, and liver. So if we consider the main functions of the digestive system, we can say first function is food digestion, and secondly it absorbs the digestive end products, and the undigested materials are removed from the body. Food digestion, absorption of digestive end products, and removal of undigested materials. These are the functions of digestive system. So we'll consider the parts of the digestive system. It starts with the buccal cavity. Somebody will call this as the buccal cavity as well. So this is surrounded by muscular lips and cheeks, and this consists of a lower jaw and an upper jaw. There are teeth on both jaws, And there is the tongue also, which is important for the identification of taste. Identification of taste and mixing of food with saliva. And the tongue is also important for swallowing the food. In addition to these, there are 3 salivary glands which are open to the buccal cavity. Then you are asked why a sweet taste is sensed when we chew a piece of bread or some rice for some time. You may have experienced this and you know the reason as well, because this bread or rice contains starch. Starch digestion is started inside the mouth. Saliva, which is secreted by the salivary glands, contains salivary amylase or the ptyalin enzyme. And this salivary amylase or ptyalin converts starch into maltose. You know, maltose is a disaccharide and it is also a type of sugar. As maltose is sweet in taste, we feel the sweet taste. So inside the mouth, the large particles are broken into small particles, and those particles are mixed with saliva and it is converted into a structure known as the bolus, and it is pushed towards the pharynx with the help of the tongue. So here it says, after the chemical and mechanical digestion in buccal cavity, the so formed bolus is pushed towards the pharynx. So remember, both chemical and mechanical digestion initiate inside the mouth or the buccal cavity. Here you are given the structure of the human digestive system and you are asked to label the parts. There I will move on to the diagram which appears on your textbook. So here you can see there is the mouth cavity or the oral cavity or buccal cavity. And you are shown the salivary glands, and I told you there are 3 salivary glands. And here there is a structure, muscular structure, which is known as the epiglottis. And here you can see this is the trachea, which is common to the respiratory system. And this is the esophagus. And here you can see there is a common chamber for both respiratory tract and digestive tract, that is known as the pharynx. Then the esophagus is a tubular structure again, and then you can find the stomach, which is also a muscular structure which is like a sac. And here the stomach is connected to the small intestine. This C-shaped part of the intestine is known as the duodenum, and this small intestine is about 7 meters in length and it is connected to the large intestine, and the large intestine ends up with rectum and finally the anus. And in the large intestine you can see a structure which is called the appendix. And here this is the pancreas, one of the glands I mentioned earlier, pancreas. And here you can find the liver, which is the second largest organ in our body. And the gallbladder is also connected to the liver. I will further explain about the structure of the digestive system once we are discussing the facts. Then pharynx. I told you this is a common area for both respiratory tract or the trachea and the digestive tract or the esophagus. Then I told you there was a muscular structure which we call as the epiglottis. So the The function of the epiglottis is to close the respiratory tract when we are swallowing the bolus. If I repeat, the epiglottis is a muscular structure and it is a movable organ. When we swallow the bolus, the epiglottis moves down to close the opening of the trachea. As a result, the bolus enters the esophagus without entering into trachea. So this is very important. This helps to prevent entering food into the trachea. When food enters into the pharynx, the respiratory tract is blocked by epiglottis for a while. If this is continued, imagine something is trapped, a food particle or something is trapped inside the pharynx, then the respiratory tract will be blocked continuously by epiglottis, and this will end up with the death of the person. So this epiglottis is helpful to close the respiratory tract or the trachea when we are swallowing the food only. Then the esophagus, again it is a muscular structure and it is a constricted tube. So you will think how a large bolus can be passed through a constricted tubule. Actually, as this is a muscular structure, there is the ability to contract and relax. The contractions and relaxations happening in the wall of the esophagus, which we call as peristaltic movements, provide the force for the bolus to move forward. Then, as the next part, we will start to discuss about the stomach and